Manny?
Hello?
Sorry. Hello. Oh, that's a new jacket.
Hmm?
That's a new jacket. What's that one? What do the kids call that? Tommy Hilfiger? Is that not it? That was an earnest attempt at guessing. What are they? Ricardo from Adventure Time? That's what I call it.
These kids these days, as if you're like old.
We discussed this. I'm a boomer, Manny. I watch old anime. I watch good movies from the 80s when movies were good and anime was good. All right. We got a lot to talk about. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Up on Poppy Hill, Pom Poko, and Parasite. The big three. These
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that either. Dude. They are I have a lot to say about every single one. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this conversation. And,
So that means you get to pick what we talk about first.
You sure? Okay. Let's see. I would like to talk about From Up on Poppy Hill first. That's the first one I want to talk about. Well, actually, either From Up on... Fuck, I don't know. I feel like we could go in whatever order, you know? I feel like I have enough to say about each one to, like, where the order wouldn't matter. I guess we can start with From Up on Poppy Hill.
Alright.
Yeah, we can start with that one. But I also watched other things. I finished part 3 of Jojo. And I just started part 4. I'm not going to talk about it though. We will talk about it next time. And yeah. So that was a very positive experience. I love Jojo. And then what else? I watched something else. Fuck. Did I watch another anime related? Oh, Cowboy Bebop live action. I watched the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
And I've decided I don't want to watch the rest of it. So next episode, if you want to watch it, we can talk about it like if you watch it. But I'm not gonna watch it beyond how far I got. And we don't have to watch the Cowboy Bebop movie for next episode either because I'm kind of bebopped out if you mean. So I'm also ready to, like, you know, plow through these Ghibli joints if we want to keep doing that.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So we can skip out.
That's why I hit you up and I was like, yo, let's watch Pom Poko while we're here.
Yeah, because we had a lot. And next episode, instead of Cowboy Bebop, we might spend like a whole segment on like Jojo. So it would be better instead of live action and Cowboy Bebop the movie, we do 2 Studio Ghibli joints and then Jojo, and then after that, we'll probably do Jojo again because part 6 will come out, or at least the first half. I don't fucking know, but yeah. And some very coincidental news. I saw it trending on Twitter that like Miyazaki is making another movie, and he like announced that Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, which is really weird because he already announced that he's making another movie. So like now he's doing 2, but all the articles didn't really address that, and like the interview didn't really address that. Like he already said that he was working on another movie. So either he lost interest in that old movie and he's doing this one, or he's doing both. I don't know, but he's old as fuck now, so he might not even finish them. Who knows? Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. I hope that he actually finishes them. I hope it goes somewhere. He said that he works a lot slower now because of how old he is. So I don't know if he's actually going to finish them or not. I'm really interested to see where it goes. Yeah, so there's that. And I watched the first half of Arcane. The first half of the first episode, and I also am not going to watch that either. So yeah, if you want to watch it, I'll watch it, but I don't know if you'll want to watch it. So that's everything. That's all the anime I got. All right, you ready?
Always.
All right, from Up on Poppy Hill. I fucking hated this movie.
Yeah.
I hated this movie. Yeah, I did not like it at all. First movie that we watched from Goro Miyazaki, and this is the one that people like. He has 3: Earwig and the Witch, Tales from Earthsea, and this one. People don't like Tales from Earthsea. People don't like Earwig and the Witch, but people like this one. I understand why people like this one, but I don't like this one. But I was liking it for the first 30 minutes. The first chunk of this movie is awesome. I love the beginning of this movie. The music is so good. The story is basic, and it's like, just, you can tell it's just going to be like a love story, but they do it well. And the soundtrack is so different and so unlike anything else you've seen from like other Miyazaki movies. It's so bubbly and fun. And I love the costumes that the kids wear. I love, like, you know, the uniforms that they wear. I feel like you never see that. I think the setting's really cool. I love like the opening sequence where the girl's doing like the morning routine of like making breakfast for the family. And then it goes into like this love story route. And then it has a twist of the dude being the brother of the girl. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then they do nothing for 30 minutes. And then by the end of it, you're thinking like, okay, where is this going to go anywhere? And she's like, I love you. And it's like, all right, the movie's over. It's like, you could end it right there. And then they doubled back and they did a fucking Vinland Saga, and they decided, nah, because we don't want to endorse incest. How can we sell this at Best Buy if we do that? So they doubled back, and then they made the dude not her brother, and it's like, they can fuck now. It's okay. And that's the Cliff Notes version. I can explain it in much more detail on why I don't like that. And I reference Vinland Saga because this is not a ride your wave. It's a Vinland Saga. And I don't like when people, I think it's different than Vinland Saga, honestly, now that I think about it. This is something that doesn't have, the reason why I hate this movie is because it doesn't really have anything to say, I feel like, what did you think about the movie? Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, let me give my general thoughts. One, I like the vibe of the movie.
Me too.
I did like the art style, and even though it wasn't exciting or anything like that, or mind provoking, I didn't get bored watching. Like throughout the it's a short movie, so I didn't get burnt out.
It was a well-paced movie,
and even throughout all the way throughout the ending, like I didn't take my eyes off. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, I was transfixed to the screen, like, because of its execution in the first half, and then I was transfixed to the screen in frustration for like the whole second half. I was like so mad. I was like, oh, like, how you ruined it, you soiled it.
But like, I like the vibe. I like how it looks.
Yeah, it looks great. I love the house, like the house of the like the clubhouse, and I love them cleaning it and stuff. The vibe is great. The city looks awesome.
I also like I like the way the movie looks.
It's beautiful, and I think the soundtrack is great too.
It's like all Ghibli films look good. Yeah.
No, this one looks good in a different way, I feel. Like, I don't know, none of their movies try to do like this kind of setting and like that kind of house, you know? So I think it is pretty unique, despite being like, you know, Ghibli movies always look good. It's a different kind of good to me.
Yeah, when you find out that they're brothers or related,
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. And you know me, I like to predict things.
Right.
That caught me off guard.
It did catch me off guard as well. This will be
I did have a feeling they were gonna double back though.
Yeah.
I knew. I was thinking about it. I was like, the whole time I was watching. I was like, they're not gonna pull off this incest thing.
Yeah.
That's not possible.
Right.
So I was like, we're gonna double back. And I was like, the whole time watching like the second half of the movie, I'm so transfixed on how they're gonna execute this double back.
And in my opinion, they could have done the double back if they executed it well. The reason why the double back doesn't work is because they do the story in a way where it's like, it doesn't matter that we're brother and sister, but like low key, they know that the audience can't accept that. So they're like, all right, well, we'll double back because we know that a lot of people aren't going to be okay with that. And it's like, you pussied out. You pussied out because you didn't believe it. You didn't believe the message that your story was building to. So, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't believe the message that your story was building to. So, you decided not to commit to that. And the reason why I hate this movie is because it doesn't have anything to say. It doesn't want to say what it's trying to say. It doesn't know what it wants to say. It doesn't know if it wants to say that love overpowers like these, you know, social norms, which I think this concept is awesome. I love this idea, but this is a Ghibli movie that I can buy at Best Buy. I know that they're not going to do that. I know that they're not going to commit to that in a fucking like movie that's like PG. So I'm like, all right, you're going to do the double back. Like, don't try and pretend like you're not. And they pretend like they're not for 30 minutes. And I'm getting mad because I'm like, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. And then they don't fucking do it. And this is a very difficult to explain because it's a very touchy subject, like incest and stuff. And I basically explained my general thoughts, but I'm going to try my best to explain it in the best way that I can and why this is like bad. Basically, the main point that I'm making is that Goro Miyazaki did not have a deep, thoughtful message that he wanted to convey with this movie. Even if it was a basic one, even if it was like a surface level, like love overpowers everything, he didn't even say that. He didn't even say that. That's what the movie was building to. That's what the movie was going to be. And that's basic, and that's cliche, and some people might find it boring, but it could have worked. And it literally didn't even work because he succumbed to societal norms in his own movie that was about to challenge those norms. He was trying to make a movie that was like, yo, if you found out that the person you loved was your brother or sister, like, would you decide like, oh, I'm not going to be with this person because of blah, 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 blah. The movie was building to the answer being like, yes, I would do that because, you know, my feelings are not invalid regardless of the fact that he's related to me. And then it doubled back because it's too scared to say that. That's why they did that. I'm not misinterpreting this. This is not one of those things where it's like, we're too stupid. That's what he did. He's too scared to say that. And it's like, Miyazaki says, just imagine like a movie like Weathering with You. I know that this is not exactly the same, but Weathering with You has a crazy ending, you know? Like, oh, I love the girl and I'm going to let Tokyo like get fucked up because I love the girl. It's like, you know, that's daring. That's a bold statement to make. And this movie was building to that Weathering with You-esque ending where it's like, oh shit, like it doesn't matter. And maybe some people would disagree with it. Maybe some people like wouldn't like that, but that would force them to think about it themselves. You know, that's the whole point of movie. It's about art. Movies are art, and art is a form of expression. And he doesn't have anything to express because he's not thoughtful like his dad. And I don't want to be mean, but like he doesn't have things to say. He didn't say anything with this movie. It just shows it just like screams disingenuous. That's what this movie screams, and it makes me mad. Like I can't. This isn't like a Arrietty. This is not. Arrietty is like a poorly executed movie and it's boring, but I understand what Arrietty's trying to do. This movie is conceptually fucking stupid. It's dumb. And for those 30 minutes, he doesn't address, like, you know, when the movie says, oh my God, I'm your brother and like we're in love, you know, they never talk about it. He just kind of comes to this conclusion where he's like, and they do that for 30 minutes, bro. It's like, bro, talk about it. There's a conversation to be had. But in real life, Manny, remember when I was talking about Beastars and I was like, oh, Beastars tackles this kind of topic and this kind of thing when it comes to identity and like, you know, being in a body that you don't want to be in. It has conversations that people in real life are too afraid to have. That's what art does. That's what Vinland Saga does. And I don't even like Vinland Saga, but I appreciate that aspect of Vinland Saga. That's what Vinland Saga does. And this show isn't even Vinland Saga. It doesn't have anything to say. It's not trying to say anything. It's lying to you. It's pretending. And that makes me mad. It makes me mad that resources like Studio Ghibli, you know, they work hard, bro. The people animated this movie worked hard. For what? For fucking what, man? You know? You didn't say anything. And it's not, I want to make it clear, like, it's not because I disagree with the message of the movie. If the movie said, like, yo, we're brother and sister and we can't be in love, like, that's okay. Like, if I was making the movie, I wouldn't have that ending. But if that's the ending that they wanted to have and they committed to that, I'd be okay with that. Because that's something. You're telling me something, even if I don't agree with it, right? You know, in the same way that you might not agree with the ending of Weathering with You, but it's telling you something, and it's profound, and it's thoughtful, and it's genuine. This movie's not genuine. This movie's not sincere. It's a farce. It's a facade. It's an essay that you turned into a teacher last minute. That's what this movie is. It's like you looked it up on SparkNotes. You know, that's what this movie is. Shout out SparkNotes. Yeah, he came up with the idea. He didn't come up with the message. When Miyazaki makes a movie, he comes up with the message and then he comes up with the story. Goro Miyazaki did not do that. He doesn't understand movies. He doesn't understand the point of movies. And it's embarrassing that he's like standing next to like his father at the same studio making like movies. Like, bro, how dare you? How dare you sully this man's name? You remember like Dragon Ball Evolution when that came out, and then Akira Toriyama was like, I don't know how true this is, but like there is a quote floating around in the ether like, I made Battle of Gods because Dragon Ball Evolution was so bad, and I didn't want that to be the last thing Dragon Ball related to come out. Like, I believe he said that at one point. And I feel like Miyazaki is coming back because he's like, yo, Earwig and the Witch, bro. Yo. Yeah.
I'm interested to watch that movie.
Yeah, I need to watch it now. I need to see if it's worse than this. Like, I need to know.
I need to watch because Earthsea too. I need to watch it.
Yeah, I'm glad. Because I'm so interested in Goro Miyazaki and like how he can do this. How the fuck did you do this? Like, how do you do this 3 times? Like, Oh, how did nobody tell him, like, yo, you gotta chill, bro. You gotta chill with these. I can't imagine. And, you know, once again, this movie frustrates me because a lot of people like this movie. And they like it because I don't think a lot of people are thoughtful in that sense. I don't think a lot of I don't want to be mean, but I'm just being blunt. It's like, it's the same reason why people liked Ghost in the Shell live action. They like don't understand what makes movies and what is so important about like having a message and having something to say. And like, I feel like people who like this movie don't understand that this movie doesn't say shit, and they're watching it like very passively.
I think they see it like, I think they get the message of, yeah, we're related, but I love you, right? But I think when she said "I love you" to him, I feel like the casual viewer was like, "Wow, like that was incredible, right?" Which it was, but like
it wasn't. Yeah.
And then, you know, double backs, but they still hold on to that. Wow, like, that's what the movie was about. Even though like it went back and it's.
I feel like the average viewer, at least in America, I feel like the average viewer would be on edge the entire movie. I feel like the average viewer would be hoping that they're not brother and sister, because I feel like a lot of people are just hardwired because of the social norms that they've been grown up around to not endorse that under any circumstances, no matter what. And I mean, I didn't really want to get into this, but I feel like we'd have to in order to really discuss this movie. I feel like when I think about people that I've liked in the past, or like if I had like someone that I loved and I met them outside of the context of knowing that they were related to me, and then I find out after the fact that they're related to me, but I've been in love with them and they love me and we know that we like each other, I'm gonna die one day. I don't want to live my life succumbing to societal norms because I'm scared of what people will think about me. I am going to at least attempt to make it work with that person, or at least talk about it. And they don't even do that in this movie. They don't even talk about it.
They missed that discussion.
Exactly.
The movie needed that discussion.
They missed that discussion because they thought that the discussion wasn't necessary. Because they think that Goro Miyazaki, in his own head, he is someone who succumbs to societal norms. He himself is like, oh yeah, you obviously can't fuck your brother. Like, it's like, what? Like, think. Talk to your fucking dad for 2 goddamn seconds, man. Where's the human being in you, bro? How do you make the first 30 minutes of this movie where you have this genuinely heartfelt love story, and how do you push that aside and say no, they can't fuck, they're brother and sister? What? Ew, fuck that. And it's like, well, it's over. Like, what do you mean, man? What are you talking about? Love is so much more powerful than that. You can't just throw it out the window. And even if the conclusion that you come to is like, yeah, it would be too weird, that's a conclusion that you could easily come to, and that could have been the ending of the movie. Talk about it, please. Talk about it. Build to it.
The movie's missing that, because that talk would have made the movie way more genuine.
It would have.
Fuck, that's bad.
There are art house movies that have plots like, I'm not saying I've seen anything like this, but I know that there are movies like, you know, like, I don't want to use the word pretentious, but you know, like pretentious, like French filmmakers, like, I don't know, like artsy movies that you would never watch. There are movies that would have this plot and this premise and do this and commit to it and like really like tackle these questions because they're thought-provoking and they're made by thought-provoking people that want to be daring and want something to say. This movie doesn't want to say anything because it's made by Studio Ghibli and they want to sell it at Best Buy, and they don't want to get banned in countries because incest bad. And that, or if you didn't want to do that and you want to sell it and you want to do the whole like, oh well, they really weren't brother and sister and blah 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 blah, they didn't even have the conversation. They didn't even tackle it, you know? And if you don't want to talk about this, if you want to dance around this topic, don't fucking do it. Just make it a generic love story about these two characters falling in love with each other, ocean waves bullshit. It would have been great. I would have given this movie a 7 out of 10. I was watching the first 30 minutes like, dude, this is awesome. This is basic, but I'm loving it. And I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I especially after like seeing like how hard and like reading like, you know, like when I think of Whisper of the Heart all the time. I think about how the person who directed that movie like died like making Princess Mononoke. People literally died making that movie because it took so much effort, and you're making them put the same amount of effort into this piece of shit. Fuck you, Goro Miyazaki. I'm sorry, that's so mean, but like, you're a piece of shit. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, man? Even Arrietty has more passion and heart than this. Decadence has more heart than this. Like, I can't even. I hate this. I wanted to cry watching the movie out of anger. I'm being so serious when I say that.
Yeah, they shouldn't just not have gone for this, to be honest, because even if you hold your wire to think against this way, right, incest, whatever,
right,
like you can't deny how genuine it is, and that itself just makes it thought provoking. When you finish the movie, you're still thinking about it after, like,
right,
it can even challenge your own beliefs and make you think differently. Because
right.
like, bro, when she said "I love you," I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I was, for real, that was crazy. And I just wish they like tackled it a little more, because it is thought provoking, like, and it's such a thing people don't like to talk about, but if they watch the movie, they're forced to think about it, right?
Yeah.
And the whole time I was thinking, what would I do, right? Of course, you put yourself in their shoes,
right? Yeah.
But
the
honestly,
movie,
it's so hard to say.
The movie does not guide you through that thought process. Like in Weathering with You, it does kind of guide you through that thought process of like, would I sacrifice like Tokyo for like someone I love? I mean, the way he did it in the movie, it's kind of valid. Like I kind of understand his thought process and like leading to that point. It makes sense. Maybe I would do that because I witnessed his experience, and it makes sense to me in that point. That's the point. That's the point of a movie. That's the point of a movie. Even it's like Joker, bro. That's the whole thing with that. That's the whole point of that movie. There's this guy that turns into an insane madman and goes killing people, and you're like, yo, that's bad, but like, I kind of get it. You know, this movie is Joker killing people, but not justifying it. You know, it's like, I love you, brother. And it's like, okay, but when people get to that moment, they're not going to have this overwhelming sense of clarity of like, oh, wow, I really should think about this thing more that I was very close-minded about. No one's going to think that at the end of this movie, unless you're like us and we're analyzing like it to this extent. But as you're watching the movie, you're going to be like, what conclusion am I supposed to come to? What was the movie building to this point? This is very weird. And they didn't do it, man. This movie. And what makes it even more offensive is that the first 30 minutes are so good. It's so offensive because it's not mid. It's like a solid 7, and it goes all the way down into the 7th layer of the abyss. So offensive. I get so angry when I think about this movie. I was like pacing in frustration after watching this shit. I was like, what the fuck, man? You know, and not to jump the gun, but Pom Poko is also a very flawed movie in similar ways to this, in terms of its structure, in terms of its pacing. But the intent of what is being said in that movie is so clear. It is so transparent, the message that is in Pom Poko, and I get it. I fucking get it. Okay.
Back.
Okay. What is that? Cereal? I can't see it. Hold on.
Papa John's Pizza.
It looked like you shook it like a cereal box. I'm sorry. Oh, Manny. Oh, my God. I am going to soundbite that. I'm going to... Oh, I will never fucking forget that. Holy shit. Oh.
That was crazy.
The way you said it was so funny. Papa John's Pizza. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. That was... I needed that after this headache that this movie's giving me.
Yeah, that's a funny clip right there.
Yeah, it is.
Cereal.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck this movie. Goro, and bro, I want you to understand, like, it's so transparent that Goro Miyazaki is getting these movies because he's Miyazaki's son. And that makes it so much more like upsetting, because it's like, oh my God, you're not even trying. You don't even have to try. You're the dude's son. You can get whatever you want. You know? You can make a fucking 3D movie that goes against everything that Miyazaki said because you're an idiot and you don't get it. It's like, Jesus, man.
Man, I completely understand everything you say.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't even think about them having a discussion. I didn't even think about it, but you saying it now makes the movie a lot worse.
Yeah. It's so weird because we always joke, like, whenever we watch a bad movie, like, it's a ride your wave. And this is a new thing. You know, this is a new one because
it's like a huge hole missing.
Yeah. It's not like whenever we say ride your wave or your name, the joke is that a movie made a logical inconsistency that breaks the film in some way. And this isn't that. What's
the other movie we referenced? Arrietty.
Yeah. Arrietty, yeah. Arrietty, Ride Your Wave, and Your Name. Those are the big three.
I didn't forget about Baki. It will come up one of these days. It will come up.
One of these days. Yeah, this isn't one of those. There's no logical inconsistency, and it's got some twists and turns, you know? It could have had some fuck ups, but they didn't. They executed that part pretty well, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's the weird thing about this movie, Manny. It's not bad in the same way that those movies are bad. It's bad in a unique, different way. It's bad in a way that is disrespectful to human beings. It's disrespectful to the human brain. It's disrespectful to art. And being disrespectful to art is being disrespectful to a person. It's assuming that people are stupid and they won't see through your facade, you know? And it's if you're not intentionally playing a facade and you're subconsciously doing it because you yourself are not a thoughtful person, then that is also disrespectful because you're wasting the resources, man. Studio Ghibli is not this infinite well of like, oh, we can make a movie whenever we want. These people are all going to die one day. This like art style that they have is not going to flourish forever. Takahata passed away and you know, Miyazaki's on his last fucking legs. And like, if Goro Miyazaki is the last person to be there, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Like I'm going to punch a wall. I can't, man. I can't deal with this. I hate this. I have to watch Tales from Earthsea and Earwig and the Witch now, though. I have to see, because apparently those are worse than this. And I just need to see, when you are consistently bad, there's you know, because, you know, sometimes people have bad movies. Sometimes people have their fuck ups and they learn from that. And he's showing that he's not learning from that. And that's what's scary. There's a difference between making one bad movie versus 3 bad movies. And holy shit, man. Like, do something else or get your shit together or something. So disrespectful. This is the worst thing we've watched. The worst thing I've watched. This is worse than Arrietty. It's worse than Arrietty. And it's worse in a different way. It's not worse in the sense like it's boring. It's worse in the sense that it's disingenuous and it's stupid and it's frustrating to watch and it's made by someone who doesn't think. It's like having a political... Huh?
It's a hot take right there.
And it's a hot take I'm willing to stand by. This is terrible.
Interesting. Which movie would you rather rewatch if you had to?
I was thinking about that question. I actually thought about that question a lot. This movie is more engaging than Arrietty. For better or for worse, when I watch this movie, I am not bored. I'm mad, but I'm not bored. So if you tell me to watch one of the... I don't want to watch either of them. When I watch Arrietty, I'm bored. And when I watch From Up on Poppy Hill, I get frustrated to a degree that makes my stomach churn.
Wow.
So it's a matter of what do I care about more? Being bored or being angry? Would I rather be angry than be bored, or would I rather be bored than be angry? And I actually came to the conclusion when I thought about this, like when taking notes, that I would rather be angry. But so to answer your question, I think if the opportunity presented itself, I might rewatch From Up on Poppy Hill instead of Arrietty, but that does not change. The rewatchability of a movie does not dictate its value.
Right.
So
not to ask, I'll make you sure, because I'd rather watch Poppy Hill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I would not. If you gave me a gun as like a third option, I'm taking the gun. I don't know. I don't want to.
Weathering with you style, huh?
Final stand with FBI agents over watching these movies.
Just watch the movie.
No. Let's see. I'm very happy you asked that question. Thank you for asking that. That's a very thoughtful question to ask. But like I said, it's bad in a different way. It's bad in not the same way that Arrietty is bad. And I think Arrietty is less offensive than this. Arrietty is offensive because it's like, this movie's boring. How can you be that boring? This movie is offensive. It's like, how are you even a human being? This movie makes me lose faith in humanity. You know when someone writes a tweet that's just like wrong and they're just like, you're fucking stupid, and you got a lot of likes on your tweet and like a lot of people validated your perspective and I can't say anything because then I'll look petty. That's what From Up on Poppy Hill is. It's a movie that got made and everyone fucking likes it. It's got a 7.9 on goddamn My Anime List and a 7.3 on IMDb. People like this fucking movie. And when I look at the reviews, even the negative ones, people are not pointing out what I'm pointing out. And it makes me sad because it makes me think that people are fucking stupid. And it makes me feel like I'm the only thoughtful person in the world. And it makes me, this is why I don't use social media, because of shit like this, because I see people like this everywhere. And now I see someone like this who made an 1.5 hour long movie with the resources of the gods of anime. What a disgrace. Fuck this movie. Do you have anything else to say? I'm sorry. I'm being mean.
I don't. I don't, but I did like the main character.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. Honestly.
Yeah, I like the main character too. They butchered her. they chopped her up into little pieces and they threw her in the trash. They said, "Fuck your motivations. Fuck this story."
This is like one of those movies I told you about where like I finish it, then I like immediately open TikTok to watch dumb shit. So pondering what I watched.
Yeah. I was pacing in frustration. I was screaming at the TV. I was like, "Fuck you." I literally was saying that. "Fuck you." I was saying that to the TV. I said everything that I needed to say. I hope that this is telling of my philosophies or my point of view when it comes to art and when it comes to media. You know, I'm happy I watched this movie. I'm happy I got to say what I wanted to say. And I'm sorry for like taking up most of the segment if I didn't give you a chance to speak.
No, you're good. I didn't really have much to say.
Okay.
I was gonna bring up the double backing.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you said it, so I just didn't let you go.
Thank you. I'm glad that I got to talk about this. I put a lot of thought into this because this is an enigma. This, coming up with my explanations, it took a lot of thought and it took a lot of time. So after I finished the movie, I was sitting there like, I was struggling to like write down like in detail like why I didn't like it, and I feel like I did that. So, yeah, I'm gonna peruse my notes very shortly. I loved the soundtrack. I'll say that. I was listening to it. I loved the first 30 minutes, man. My notes are filled with like positive shit for like the first half of it, and it just goes downhill from there. I relate to the first 30 minutes. Like, I love that she's so busy in her life and like she has someone that she likes and that she wants to be around, but he asks her to hang out and she's like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I have to." Like, I can relate to that shit so much, where you like want to hang out with someone but you have shit to do and like you're interested in seeing them and then randomly they like stop talking to you. Fuck this, man. Yeah, I'm done. 1 out of 10. My first ever 1 out of 10 on my anime list. Actually, no, it's not my first 1 out of 10, but I put a lot of thought. I know that's like a big thing to say that holds as much weight as a 10 in my book, and I put a lot of thought into that. This is a 1. This is a 1 out of 10 movie. This is the worst kind of movie. This is like, these movies should not exist. This is terrible. Yeah. NetherRealm. It's like the true NetherRealm for me.
That you watch Yu Yu Hakusho, right?
No.
Oh.
I will watch it. I'm on my Jojo flow, and I'm like, I basically watched like 70 episodes of anime in like 2 weeks, so I'm really excited to like watch long anime more. So hopefully I'll watch Yu Yu Hakusho one of these days.
Because there's a lot. I would have said like this thing that relates to the NetherRealm thing, but
okay. Well, we'll put a pin in that. In 2 years, we'll get back to that. But yeah,
I think I'm gonna give this movie.
I'm very interested because you don't give anything lower than a 3. Is this gonna be lower than a 3? Is this gonna be the first NetherRealm?
I don't think, for me, this isn't NetherRealm.
Okay, interesting.
Because I like Ride Your Wave is better than this movie.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So I'm gonna give this movie like 4.
Okay. Gotcha.
Wait, no, it'll be a 3. Yeah, 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
3.
that is NetherRealm. The 3 is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
fuck it.
This is like.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, this is a movie like I never want to look at the cover again, to be honest.
Did the cover ever happen in the movie? The cover is like at least on my anime list, it's of like this dude in like a white sailor uniform being hugged by like a schoolgirl character. Maybe I'll send it on Discord, or I'll send it like on the phone.
I think that must be her dad then, because that's not the one on HBO Max.
Yeah, it's not the one on HBO Max. Hold on, I'll send it to you. Look it up on your computer and then show me like a cover that resembles my description. Just do that instead.
Is it this one?
No. She's hugging a sailor. It's like her. If you go on my anime list, it'll probably be like the first one on my anime list. I think it's the cover poster for that.
Oh, interesting. I've never seen this until now.
Yeah. For the Steel Book like re-release of this movie, that's the cover. And maybe that is her dad.
That's like the only.
I guess that's a little thoughtful. Doesn't matter.
The only option. It has to be her dad. Like,
yeah. Yeah. It didn't happen. Dude, and when you read the negative reviews, it's not even saying what I'm saying. The negative reviews on IMDb and on my anime list are like, the plot's cliche and basic and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, this movie's bad for other reasons, man.
First thing I see is, well, that's two lackluster Ghibli films under Goro's belt.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. It was such a disheartening review. I think it has a Cowboy Bebop profile picture.
Yeah.
King.
Wait, what?
King. That guy for saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well. Yeah. You got anything else?
I want to see what Pom Poko got.
Pom Poko. You want to talk about that next or Parasite?
I think we should talk about Parasite last.
Yeah, let's talk about Pom Poko.
Hold on.
I love that ending song.
That's 7.3.
Pom Poko? Yeah, I'd expect that.
Yeah, it's not.
So what did you think about Pom Poko? Let's talk about that now.
One thing I'll say is that this movie is funny.
This movie? Do you think it's funnier than Porco Rosso? I wanted to ask you that.
No, because Porco has mature funny. This is like
okay. Okay.
Porco has like intellectual funny.
Yes.
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yes.
So
yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Porco. But this movie is funny. Their little the transformation thing. When I looked at the cover, because this is my anime list cover is way different from the HBO one.
Right.
Looking at the cover, I was like, what the fuck are those things? You know? And you find out they're raccoons. One thing I want to bring up is I'm not a fan of movies that have a narrator like explain everything.
What about Jojo?
Huh?
Jojo has a narrator.
A narrator? Yeah, but he like barely pulls up.
Okay. It's like one of the best parts of Jojo. That's I think
Give me an example when the narrator says something.
Part 3, when they meet Dio at the mansion, there's a montage sequence of showing like the past memories and of like all their fights, and the narrator is like explaining like the Stardust Crusaders have finally ended their journey, and it's like one of my favorite scenes in the entire show.
That's like a Dragon Ball Z fight on next episode. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's one of those. I don't really count it as like narrating. It's not like when there was gambling, that narrator is like, Jojo, like fucking lost. Like, you know? Yeah. But this movie with like a narrator like takes over like a lot of scenes. I don't know. I don't like that type of.
I agree. Like yeah,
I'm not a fan of that. So one that threw me off.
Yeah.
Just off the cover, I was like, "What are those things?" Right. So it interests me. That's why I told you, "Hey, let's watch Pom Poko." Out of nowhere, right? Then I watch it, find out they're raccoons and they can transform. I was like, that's pretty cool,
bro. When I'll say this, Manny, I remember when you said like, yo, when I saw Porco was a pig and he was the only one, I immediately knew this movie's gonna be fire. And I was thinking of when you said that, when I saw Pom Poko and but like, speaking of the narrator, the movie opens with a narrator, but like you slowly realize that the narrator is one of the characters. And I was like, yo, and on the cover, they're like, animated. And it's like, yo, the raccoons are like normal right now. That's crazy. And you see them running and you're like, okay. And then they transform and it's like, oh shit, this movie's gonna be good. Like, I literally like screamed at the TV, let's fucking go. Like when that happened, that whole opening sequence was awesome. Continue. I'm sorry.
I did like, see, like narration at the like a start of a film like that.
Yeah,
nothing wrong, but
it was an issue later on, though. I agree.
I don't like when he keeps coming back, but like, when they transform, because they have the raccoon, the goofy form, and then their fat form. That goofy form is hilarious.
the one where they're just like 2D, like yeah, that's hilarious as fuck. Yeah, and yeah. I love the premise of this movie. It's a very interesting. I don't think it's a great movie, but it's one that I finished and I was like, huh, that was cute. Like, it wasn't great. I didn't think it was like well executed in the best way, but it was sincere. It was like, I love what this movie's saying. I love its concept that like raccoons are like fun animals that just like dick around and they're just so like lighthearted and they have like these magical powers that they just fuck around with. And but so I think I was laughing the whole time. I thought this movie was hilarious. The part when half of the movie, when the plot literally just became like, all right, we're gonna prank the humans, the movie was constant laughs for like 30 minutes. Like when he took his face away.
No face.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I was like, am I watching a Ghibli movie? This is insane. It was I love when the old men, like the old what's his face? The dudes, the elders or whatever, when they come to the mountains and they're like disguised as like old men with like weird costumes, and the music that plays is just so good. That shit was hilarious. And there's probably some other funny moments that I can't think of. Yo,
there's a bunch.
But the main, I want you to continue. I want you to like say what you have to say.
I'm gonna say this movie fucking, it pissed me off. This movie I was yelling at the screen like, you were yelling at Poppy Hill. Yeah. Cause I didn't.
Me too.
I didn't get the operation, whatever they called it.
I didn't understand that shit either.
That shit pissed me off. I was like actually mad. Because there's a part where they're pranking them and like those people went to pray to a shrine and they turned into the fucking god that they were praying to. Right. And people like start freaking out, start praying. Like, don't you think that if you kept doing something like that, that would have worked? Yeah. Like, I was just thinking, like, because while they're doing the Operation Crazy shit, right? They literally, I don't know if someone did it, but like, literally, there's someone on a golden cloud, golden wind, Jojo reference. Crazy, I know. But like, someone, they're on a golden cloud, and then like someone's like Buddha, like someone's literally Buddha doing this shit, right? Yeah. I'm like thinking, like, why didn't you like turn into Buddha in the forest or something? Turn into those shrines. That little dragon they turn into, why don't you have that flying over the forest? Like, and they were talking to them like, get away from the forest. Right. But you want to run into the city. like what is that? What was the plan?
I remember. I remember it objectively not making sense. And hold on, let me refer back to my notes. It's been a while. I need to kind of get a refresher on this one. I wrote in my notes, why are they explaining the plan afterwards? They explained it after they did it. And then, okay, this large-scale illusion on the city is pretty cool, but what is the point of this? The humans aren't even scared. Okay, now they're scared? Question mark? LMAO. I also wrote this section of the movie. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say really quickly, I wrote in my notes, this section of the movie makes me wish it was just a yokai movie. Like that whole bit, I was like, I wish this was the whole movie. This is awesome.
It looked cool, but it was so dumb. But there was a lot of references during the operation. Did you see any?
To yokai? Like,
no, to other Ghibli movies.
Really? No.
Yeah.
I think I saw one. I think I saw Ghibli like written on like a. No, that was in From Up on Poppy Hill. Sorry, I didn't want to bring that back up. But
Just to get your mind blown.
Yeah.
That's Kiki.
What? Oh my god! I didn't see her. That's crazy.
This is the one I saw.
Oh shit! I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy.
Then fucking Parko.
Was that Whisper of the Heart girl? I thought I saw her just like flying in the distance. I don't know. I could be wrong. I saw a girl.
They should have had the cat guy.
Yeah, I think that came out. I think that might have come out after. I don't know.
Whisper of the Heart?
Yeah, after Pom Poko. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll look it up after. But yeah.
Yes, the whole thing didn't make no sense. The whole time, I'm like, why don't you just turn into these gods and just sit at the forest? That you would have saved a lot more energy. Even though I know this it's a movie, right? So they can't just do this shit. But like, if you just turn to those gods, this is just like scare people off that way. Like I doubt people would like go destroy the forest.
I thought the idea was that they did do that, and then people were still destroying the forest. Like they showed on the news thing, like, oh, I saw a god, and it's like they were. I felt like they did address that within the movie, and you might still be right. Like if they kept doing it, it would have worked. But I recall there being a legitimate explanation that I personally could believe to why they couldn't do that. But the plan still didn't make sense. I'm having trouble conversating about it because I don't even remember I didn't take thorough notes on that part, on like what were they trying to do? Were they trying to scare the humans? Were they trying to like really, I think the humans were getting scared of the pranks, and they were getting scared of the ghosts like in minor ways. And then when they were like, all right, we're going to fucking scare them big time now. Like we're going to do it for real, and we're going to let them know like they're fucking with the forest and the spirits are awakening and like they're letting out all these evil spirits. Let's fucking do this. Let's show them what we got. And then in the process of doing that, it turned out that the humans didn't even really care. They thought it was like a performance, and they didn't realize. But the reason why it doesn't have any impact is because throughout the scene, they're not treating it like, oh my God, the humans don't care. They're just showing you the thing, and it's like the humans like, oh wow, and you're just sitting there like, this is bad, but the movie's not acting like it's bad, and it feels like the tone is off. Like, this is terrible. This is like really, the stakes are high. These characters are gonna die, and the movie's acting like, oh, look at the cool animation.
It makes no sense. Like you said, they were trying to scare. Like they're trying to scare, but they had people in the streets like right. Dancing and shit. Like, but who are you trying to scare? Like, I don't know. I feel like they did the god thing with that little fox. They scared the shit out of those people there, and people would have thought, oh, they're just tripping or whatever. But I feel like if they legit just made the dragon or the little Buddha, I'm telling you, if they made the Buddha thing, or even because they like, you know, Japanese, the whole Shintoism thing, any of those like those gods, like literally like just like transform into them and just literally sit outside of the fucking forest.
Mm-hmm.
That it wouldn't take as much energy as running into the city.
Right.
So that old guy would have fucking had a stroke, you know. But that whole plot, it looked cool, but it was so dumb.
It was extremely dumb, and I'm not denying that. I'm just trying to rationalize why it was dumb and break it down. I think it was an earnest attempt to scare them. I feel like I don't care if the guy's doing a funny dance. If I saw that shit, I would freak the fuck out. But I guess people just thought it was a performance, you know? Like, even the stuff in the air. Some people got scared, but then some people were like, oh, it's just like a hologram. It's whatever.
Yeah, it's like the 1990s. There's like no way people are pulling this shit off. Right?
Exactly.
Oh my god.
But my issue was that they explained it afterwards. They didn't explain the plan first. They explained the plan after that scene. And it's like, why would you do that? Like, you needed me to understand what was going on in order for the scene to hold any weight. It was like the big set piece of the movie. It was like the climax. And like, it made no fucking sense, honestly. And what was so weird, Manny, was after that, when the dude dies and they're at his funeral, they're all like, it's supposed to be like, this is like not a joke in the movie. This is like a really sad moment. Our main character died trying to defend the forest. It's fucking over. We lost. You know, it's like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And they all start laughing, and then they go and like part. And it's the movie is playing this off like it's funny, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? A character just died, and the characters are laughing, and they're like fucking around. At the end of the movie, when they say like, oh, the spirit of a raccoon is one who plays around and like is just super happy all the time, it recontextualized that to make a lot of sense. And I'm like, okay, that is kind of cool. I get it. I see what you're going for. But in the context of that scene, it didn't really work. And that's my issue with the entire movie. My big criticism of this movie is the tone is way off. The stakes are high, characters are dying, good and bad, and people are dicking around, and they shouldn't be dicking around in times where they should be having fun. Literally, the fact that they are dicking around costs them the entire like plot. And I get it. That's the point, because they're raccoons, and it's supposed to be like, you know, look at these animals that can't even defend themselves because it's in their nature to be goofy, and you're destroying these like beautiful creatures. I love that message. I love the ending of this movie. You should have started with that shit, man. You should have started with that little monologue at the end. Why did you save that for the end of the movie? Just tell me that now so that I can experience the entire movie with that perspective. And that was my big issue with the movie. I feel like that's what ruined it for me. But I love the ending. Like, when they said that, I was like, oh, this makes sense. And when he said like, all right, let's turn the entire world into a forest, like with one last illusion. And they're like, why the fuck would we do that? And it's like, because it would be funny. And I love that. I think that's so wholesome. And it makes sense given everything else. It's like, oh, I get it now. But it still makes the movie kind of bad, you know? I like it, but it's bad. So, you know. I still acknowledge that. That's the big bad thing with this movie. But, dude, it had so many more moments, and it's sincere. It's like actually saying something. I feel like a human being. I feel like Takahata was like, he wanted to give a message like, stop destroying the trees, stop killing the possums. He didn't do it too well, but man, there were some funny ass moments, and there were some emotional ass moments, and it was a great ending. And you didn't really execute it in the right way, and this part should have been here, and that part should have been there, and maybe don't have a laughing scene at a funeral scene at the same time. But, you know, it was sincere, and that's all I ask for in a movie. I just want sincereness. I want it to be genuine and honest. Ride Your Wave, Your Name, they're genuine. They're trying to say something, no matter how flawed they are, and so is this movie. So it's bad, and I acknowledge it's bad, but I still kind of love it. Yeah.
I was gonna bring up when they They all fucking hopped on that ship, right? And they rode off to sunset. Was that like a mass suicide thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That was crazy. I was like,
that was kind of crazy.
This movie's dark as fuck. This movie is like lighthearted to the extent of a Disney movie, but it has dark, evil shit happening. When they started killing the humans, I was like, oh fuck, this is like, did you not lose your mind when that started happening? Because I was like, what's happening?
When did they kill him?
Early. They killed the humans in like the first like 30 minutes, and then they stopped doing it afterwards.
Who did they kill?
They killed like construction workers and stuff. Like, do you remember the scene where he like used his ball sack to like cover the dude's I don't know, maybe in the English dub they rewrote that and they made it so that he didn't kill them. But there's like a scene where he like makes someone crash their car. Like Gonta, the fat one with the red jacket, that's like, we should be more aggressive and we should be like hurting the humans. That character was like killing them. At least in the Japanese sub, they were very explicit of like 5 people died due to like, you know, weird occurrences that can't be explained. And I thought that was crazy because the raccoons were straight up killing people, and the tone shifted to like, let's not kill people and let's just fuck around. And their reasoning was like, humans make McDonald's, and if we kill all the humans, then we won't have more McDonald's. And that's funny. And I would like that if you said that the raccoons were charming and goofy at the beginning of the movie. The same criticism I made before. I think that it feels so weird though, because like you're supposed to be taking this seriously and you can't, because the movie's constantly making jokes during serious moments, you know? So, and it's not one of those things where like, oh, when I rewatch it, it'll all make sense. Like when I rewatch it, it's still going to feel weird because you're just like not conveying the information properly to the audience. So even if I get it, it's like, it's going to be weird because you're not doing it like within the movie. Nothing
is conveyed until the narrator fucking says something.
Yeah, exactly. It's annoying. It's weird. There's so much that I liked about it though. It is bad. It is. I'm not.
There's not a lot I like.
Okay.
I thought the movie wasn't boring, but I wasn't really transfixed.
Yeah, I was on and off. Give me a second. I'm gonna fix the lag. Okay. You're muted.
Yeah, but this you know, the movie's funny and it does have the message with you know and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
I paused this movie several times, so I think it's fair to say that I wasn't transfixed either. I paused the movie like 3 times, took multiple breaks.
Like something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't do that at all from Up on Poppy Hill, and that's a testament to that movie. You know, as much as I shit on it, like I said, I don't think From Up on Poppy Hill is more boring than something like this. I feel more bored watching this movie than From Up on Poppy Hill. It's structured very weirdly, and the tone is so weird.
The tone is weird, yeah. And the scene where they had the final standoff with the cops.
Yeah,
I thought that was dumb too.
They're using their balls.
Like, I know not all of them can transform. Oh my God. Ali, stop laughing. It's not fun.
You don't think that shit is funny?
No, the movie's ass. It's not funny anymore. Fucking, I don't know all of them can transform, but why didn't like Gunta like transform into another cop so they're like on the same playing field, you know? Because the 3 other the three other the main character into Samaru, whatever his name, they transformed into the cop with the same gear and everything. So I'm like, why don't they do that so they can give themselves a fair playing ground instead of like getting their nuts smacked by a baton?
How can you not laugh at that? It's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be serious, but it's funny how the movie doesn't acknowledge that it's funny, and it takes itself so seriously.
I don't.
It makes the movie worse. I'm not denying that, but I like laughing at things ironically. It makes it so bad. Like, were you trying to be funny? Like, how the fuck do you make a character use their balls as a weapon and just like expect the audience to be like, oh no, their balls are getting hit with a baton? It's like,
it's like, you know, the movie tries to be funny, but then like literally the next scene is them, all the dead raccoons getting piled up.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like, yeah. It's not funny anymore.
It's so bad. Yeah.
And then you see the fucking Gunther's wife crying, like, oh, is this funny now? Like, it's so dumb to me.
It is. It's so, really dumb.
It is stupid. It's so dumb that it's funny sometimes, or the movie's just like funny, like sometimes, like when the three shapeshifters, turn into like those guys. But those like scenes like that is just like, don't get me wrong, the mass suicide scene, I thought that was the best scene in the movie. I thought it was the best scene. Even though it didn't really make sense, I feel like
it was.
I feel like the old guy going senile, that's cool. The fucking, I guess with the other raccoons who joined him, they couldn't shapeshift, right?
What are you talking about? What scene?
The old shapeshifter,
yeah.
The master, right? He went senile, so I give him a break. But the raccoons that joined him, they couldn't transform, right? Didn't they say something like that?
Yes, they did.
Right.
And that's why they killed themselves, because they can't adapt to like the world. And I love that scene. I thought that scene was the best scene. Yeah, I thought it tied into the ending too. So I like the ending where like they just have to accept like, yeah, the forest got fucking chopped down and we don't really want to be with the humans, but fuck it, we got to. And they're not like sad. Like they're still like chilling. And that's so heartwarming to me, because that's like real, you know, that's like a real thing. And, you know, he sees the raccoons like in this like really like small corner in like a wall, and it sucks ass for them. But like, they're not upset, you know, they're doing their thing. And like people die and they never get upset about anything. And it's frustrating for the audience, but I get what they're going for. I love what they're going for. And in the ending, when I got it, I loved it. But for the rest of it, it wasn't good. It's ironically funny. It's unironically funny. Go ahead.
I thought the ending was good.
Yeah.
You're looking at assimilated to human society.
So, I know. That's like it's the saddest ending, but they are lighthearted about it because they're raccoons. And raccoons, they just do their thing. And I love when he like talks directly to the audience, where it's like, I don't remember what he said, but I don't know. That resonated with me. He said something, and I was like, "That's facts, raccoon." But I don't know. I forgot it, so it must not have impacted me that much.
Yeah, that's facts, raccoon. Stay off my porch now.
Yeah. It was a
movie about raccoons.
It was a movie about raccoons.
Raccoons or raccoons?
Raccoons. Did they say raccoons?
I swear I heard that in the movie.
Bro, it was so crazy how like the other dude came back, because they were building up to that. It's like, yo, this other like two samurais are gonna go. One's gonna go this way, one's gonna go that way. And I'm sitting there like, how long do we like? Where is this other raccoon? He pops up at the very end. It's like, yo, where you been? Like you're gonna save the day? It's like, nah. It's like, oh my god, like. You suck, man. That was sad. I mean, I guess that was good. That was good. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was dope. It was yeah, I'm not gonna complain about that one. I think we kind of hit the nail on the head. I feel like there are some moments that I want to talk about that I'm not thinking about right now, but it's okay.
I just want to remember. I'm trying to remember what the narrator said during the mass suicide.
He explained that. Like he said
he was saying some. I think he was saying some good shit. I want to just remember what he said.
Okay.
I can't fucking. I searched up Pom Poko suicide, and after the Suicide Squad. Such a quote. Stop. Sit down, Ollie.
Suicide Squad. What are we, some kind of Pom Poko? All right, I'm done.
Again, I didn't even watch the movie, but I get it. I get the reference.
Among Us.
That I remember, like, I was looking up that video of what that meme meant, and it was he literally said nothing. He's literally saying all these big words, talking hella fast, just to say absolutely nothing.
Holy shit. That's sad. That's fucking clickbait. And now they removed the dislike button, so you can't know if a YouTube video is fucking stupid or not. That's the new reality, Manny. That's the new world.
I'd like watch that video again. Because it's even funny that he says nothing and the meme literally means nothing. So I guess it's
all right, let's get back on Pom Poko. Do you have anything else to say? I mean,
I'm gonna give it like
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. That's
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 is like my comfy score for like things that are like kind of good but also kind of bad, you know? Where it's like, yeah, this is bad, but I kind of like it. This is one of those. That's what I give 4s. It's a cut above Arietti, but it's very close. It's lucky. I laughed a lot, so.
Yeah. This movie is lucky.
It's very lucky. But I'm interested. Like when I watch this movie, I'm like, what other things did this guy do? You know? I'm not gonna forget this movie. Right?
If I see a raccoon, I'll think of the movie.
Yeah, me too. I understand why it has a 7. I get it. Makes sense. Okay. Let's talk about the big Chungus, the good movie. The one good movie.
I was gonna say, in terms of Ghibli,
yeah,
this is a weak episode.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, not in terms of the discussions, but in terms of the movies, they're weak. But Manny, after From Up on Poppy Hill, I cannot tell you. After all of these movies, I cannot tell you how excited I was to have this call, because I didn't really like Pom Poko or From Up on Poppy Hill, but I was like, I got a lot to say. These are interesting movies. Interesting in ways that, you know, I would not prefer, but interesting nonetheless. So, yeah. You want to get these Goro Miyazaki joints out the way?
I do, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I can probably finish them by like fucking Saturday.
All right. We'll do that.
I feel like I can watch. I'm down to call Saturday. I'll watch one on Friday, then one Saturday, then call you.
All right. You want to make that episode 2 movies?
Yeah. Let's do Earwig and
Oh shit! You want a whole episode with the okay.
Let's get those out the way, then we move on.
Okay. Cool. Fuck this guy, man. All right, let's talk about a good movie. Parasite.
Parasite.
Yeah. So, since this is the first time you're watching this movie, tell me what you think.
You know, what movie was it? After I watched, what's that movie with Denzel?
Give me 1 second.
Training Day.
Continue.
Good thing Earwig and the Witch is really short. Good thing.
Yeah, I know. How long is Tales from Earthsea?
It's 2 hours.
Fuck you, Goro. I'm watching that shit dubbed, and I'm gonna play my Switch while it's on in the background.
Oh wow.
I don't want to give this guy my attention. I don't know. I'll probably watch it. I'll take notes.
After this, we got a lot of good ones though.
I feel like Earwig is gonna be funny. I feel like I'm gonna laugh at how bad Earwig is. I don't feel like I'm gonna have fun with Tales of Earthsea though.
Tales of Earthsea is gonna get me mad.
Yeah, I know, bro. If everyone else hates it, it must be bad. Like it has low ratings on IMDb and my anime list, so it's probably boring, Manny. Do you understand the trend where it's like, yeah, disingenuous films people can't like read in between the lines, but boring things, no one likes to be bored. So those are always the low rated ones on my anime list. And Tales from Earthsea is going to be boring. I'm not looking forward to that.
Earthsea. Okay. You couldn't think of...
Goro Miyazaki, why?
This has to be like a book. This has to be a book. There's no way he came up with that. Hold on. Earthsea. Honestly, when I first saw it, I thought I was like Earthsea to make it cool, bro.
I feel like I never see the H. I always say Earthsea.
It is a book. Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't have any original ideas, Manny. We know this.
And the books got high ratings.
Okay. Do books get low ratings? Is that a thing? Does anybody say negative things about books? Have you ever heard someone read a book for like a month and say, "Yeah, that sucked"? You know?
That is true.
Exactly. When people invest that much time into something, they don't want to say that they wasted it. And a lot of people don't really have a perspective of good and bad writing. So, I don't know. A lot of people don't really know what a bad book even is. Why would anyone finish a book that's boring?
We finished a lot of boring anime.
Anime. That is a correct rebuttal. But I feel like we are more thoughtful than the average bear. And that's why we finish boring anime.
More thoughtful than the average raccoon.
Good one. But ting. I like that one, Manny. That was great.
Oh god. Parasite.
Parasite. You were talking about Training Day.
Training Day. Have you seen Training Day?
No.
Interesting.
I want to though.
Training Day. It's one of my favorite movies. I watched this essay. How camera work works in movies, right? And how look at you smiling.
Yeah.
And I generally made this connection myself too. That's why it made me happy. But I got this from Training Day because in that movie, how the camera portrays is what the movie's telling you, right?
Okay.
Parasite does that a lot. Not only with its, there's a lot of things, especially staircases. The class system.
Yes. Yes.
Whenever they go into their house, they're always going up. They go into their house, they're going down.
Yes.
It is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I bet a lot of people don't catch that. And I bet there's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie that I didn't catch.
Yes.
But I wanna watch a video, and then I want this is the movie I want to rewatch.
Yeah. it's you will gain from rewatching it because there's a lot of like Easter eggs. Like there's a lot of things like you know, I'm sorry if this is like kind of spoiling it for you because I don't know, you might want to find it on your rewatch, but the lights, like the, you know, how he does the lights whenever the Mr. Park or whatever the guy's name is like walks up the stairs, he does that in the beginning of the film before you know that he's down there. So when you rewatch the movie, you're gonna pay attention to that and like you see it and you're like, oh my god, he's doing the thing. So that's like one quote unquote Easter egg maybe. And the, you know, there's a lot of go ahead.
There's a lot to unpack.
Yes,
there's a lot to unpack. You know, at the start of the movie, when they're in their house, there's a stink bug in their house, and he flicks the stink bug. Yeah, but he is the stink bug.
I never thought about it that way.
You never thought about it?
No, I never thought about it that way.
He stinks. Now he's flicking a stink bug. Now he's getting mad that he stinks to these people. It's interesting because the kid goes up to them and smells all of them. Yeah. And says they all smell the same. This is really interesting. The kid is like, they all smell the same. They all smell the same. The viewer and the characters take that as, oh my god, we all smell the same. They probably made a connection that we know each other about, right? Right. But in all actuality, I feel like the movie's saying the kid is smelling them, saying they all smell the same, and saying he doesn't say they smell bad or anything, right? But judging like from the elitist people, the parents, you know, when they tell them they stink, right. But the kid probably learned the smelling thing from his dad, right? His dad's probably like, yo, that smelling shit, right? So he probably got that from his father, but his youthfulness like saves him from not saying, yo, you stink, right? It's like he would say you stink, but it's not as in like you stink, you're below me, because you are below me, right? But the kid is saying they all smell the same, blah blah blah. But when the parents say it, it's more like these guys fucking stink because they are fucking lower than me in life and all types of things like that. So I made that connection. I made a connection later at the end of the movie. Like I was like, remember when the kid smelled them, but he didn't say shit. And then now it's like, especially at the end when you see what happens at the very end, it's like he sees people dying and he's like, picks up the keys. He's like, ugh. Yeah. And it's like you truly see like he sees these people like really below him. It's not even about the smell. It's like it's like I think it's so like in his head as like they belong.
I don't remember if this exactly what happened, but I remember like he like stepped over like the help, like, you know, the people that work for him in an attempt to, you know, get his keys like he holds it like a rich person too. It's so like I've really empathized with that. Continue.
But yes, I made that connection with the kid, and that's another thing. The whole smell thing is just like it's like a sense of power and class. Because the dude even says on the couch, he's like, "Yeah, that fucking new driver we got, like he smells of subway systems." Yeah, right. And like you already know those type, you know, you can just tell they see people who take the subway, as like lower people. Right. He's like, yeah, he smells. He doesn't cross the line, but he does fucking stink. And I love how like it's so like if you were in his shoes, you would feel so bad, you know.
The dad's? Yeah. The poor dad.
Yes. You feel so bad because he's getting roasted in front of his kids. Yeah. About like smelling bad, but he's already been going through that, and now like he's getting flamed in front of his kids. Yeah. And then at the very end, I already knew, bro. I knew once the dude picked up the key, it was like, oh. Yeah. Like, why are you worried about smell at that point, you know? Like, it makes no one would, like, see two people die, and, like, their kid is having a seizure, which they say it takes 15 minutes for him to, like, save his life. And he picks up the keys, like, oh, it smells like shit. Like, exactly. No one does that, you know?
Yeah. His prejudice is so strong that it's, like, literally preventing him from saving his son, like, with urgency.
And it's it's insane. And then I already knew once he did that, I knew it was raps.
Yeah, I know.
I knew
Because it builds up literally from the first scene in the movie. From like the dad is getting shit on from the first moment. Like the lady's like, "Oh, you folded these boxes wrong," and then they look back at the dad, and he's like, "What?" And I fucking empathize with the dad so much, because sometimes when you're like poor like that and you're like struggling, you're doing your best. You're trying, you're grinding, and sometimes at work, like I don't know how it is for like you and your job, but sometimes at my job, like at the multiple jobs that I've had, I'll like fuck up, I'll do a thing, and people will be like, "Yo, how could you like fuck that up? What's wrong with you?" And it's like, I have so much more shit going on, bro. Like don't like say that to me. But he has to take it, you know? And he takes it the whole movie. People just walk all over him, even though technically, based on how this system works in our society, we're all on the same level, quote unquote, right? But then people get to be like, you know, like, shut up. Like, you know, like I love when he's like mad and he's upset and he's like, you know, not very confident in himself, and he's like really angry. And the dad's like talking to him. The dad, he's like, "Oh, we're wearing the Indian hats." And he just starts like a conversation, because like, all right, well, he's talking to me, so I'll talk back. I won't be upset and be an asshole, and I'll like engage in this conversation. And then he didn't even mean anything by what he said, but the dad was like, "Hey, just like remember that like I'm fucking paying you to be here. So like don't get on my nerves." And he didn't even mean anything by like a comment he made. And it's just like, I fucking empathize with that shit so much. And it makes sense. When that final scene happens, you fucking get it. And it's saying something. It has something to say. It's a message. There's a point to it.
Yeah, the movie has a lot to say. Another thing you pick up on is the rain. Like the rich mom says the rain is a blessing.
Yeah.
But then the rain like fucks up all the broke niggas.
Yeah.
It just you know, like her complete ignorance to like
what they have to go through,
what people without her power have to go through, you know.
Exactly.
I like how the movie shows like she's like, "Oh, the rain's a blessing. I get to go home to my $1 million mansion."
Yeah.
And then you see their house like submerged.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, you know, it's one of those movies like the rich people, they don't do anything bad, and the poor people, I guess they do, but they really don't.
But they do bad things out of desperation because there's nothing else they can do, you know? Like the movie is,
so it's understandable.
Yeah,
no one gets, the viewer doesn't get mad at the poor people.
Yeah.
But you know, the rich people, they don't do, through their lenses, they're not doing anything wrong, right? But through the lenses of the broke niggas,
the like, most at fault is like the dad for being like discriminatory in a very passive way, but even that is like not something that you as a viewer are like, you're evil. It's like you know, you're closed-minded, but you know, when he dies, I don't know if saying it's sad is the right thing, but it's not it's not as gratifying as like a bad guy dying at the end of an anime or something, you know. It's gratifying in a different, more somber way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like what you said about them not being bad guys. Yeah,
and like the Parasite, the title, it can mean for both ways. Like the broke people are like being parasites to the rich people by leeching off them.
Right.
But the rich people are like they can be seen as like being parasites to like all the labor of the
sucking out their life energy by making them go through all this fucking work and, you know, do all this stuff and making them feel bad about themselves and make them lose their mind after a certain point.
Right. So I like the title is interesting. Can be interpreted. What am I saying? How you say it?
Interpreted. Yes.
Either way, and it's cool. I'll right after I finished the movie, I went to see their the Oscar thing, and he won Best Director, and
Best Screenplay, and Best Picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
And best foreign film.
Right. And just like the crowd makes me so happy because like when it was like The Irishman, yeah, 1917, yeah, Parasite, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because especially for like foreign people coming to like the Oscars. I already know this. Your movie has to be like 3 times better.
Yeah.
Than the rest of them. And I love how the crowd showed like the crowd knew what should have won, and then they won, and it was like so, it felt so good. And then the director was like, I used to study Martin Scorsese back in like film school, and it's so cool how they're like both right there, and then both of their movies got nominated for Oscar like the same year.
It's goated.
So
It's
he even says it, and then they gave Martin Scorsese like a standing ovation.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool as hell, and that just shows like right after I finished this movie, I saw videos about it. I looked up the Oscars thing, but that's how I know I like movies, like internally, like when I do shit like that. When I finished Pom Poko and Poppy Hill, I just went straight on TikTok. And I was like, I was like, I'll remember the things I want to talk about, but I was like, hopefully Ali will tell me some good shit. You know?
Yeah.
But with a movie like this, like, there's so much to say. Like, what can't you say about this movie?
Exactly.
Like, I feel like every scene, like literally every scene, there's something going on. You know, there's something going on.
Yeah.
And even the I was looking at this video about like the dad saying don't cross this line, and there's a bunch of parts throughout the movie where like the camera is set up in a way where there's literally a line between the two, like the rich and the poor.
Oh,
I thought that was cool as hell. Yeah, like cool. I know there's one at the start when they first get to the house, and the rich mom is like sleeping outside, and the housekeeper wakes her up. There's literally like a line, like with the window, there's a line right there, like, and like the housekeeper crossing the line wakes her up, and then she quickly steps back outside the line. That's cool as hell. Obviously you don't get that when you first watch it, right? Yeah. This is one of those things you rewatch and get. And I bet there's so many scenes like that, and that alone just makes me like make me want to rewatch the movie.
Yeah. As someone who hasn't really looked up too many videos on this movie, but like this is my 3rd time seeing it, and I have gotten like a lot more on the 3rd watch, but just organically, like, not even really trying, and I love it. I bought the Blu-ray.
It's cool as hell. The ending, I love how the ending is. Yeah. Like it shows him like it shows him buying the house, and The Rock.
Yes.
The Rock.
We got to talk about The Rock. I was waiting for you to get to it.
Yeah, The Rock. Fucking another cool thing. I wish I caught this, but I didn't. I wish I caught this shit. The Rock, when The Rock was in their house, when the house was flooding.
Yes.
The Rock rises to the top of the water, and that says, "The shit's hollow," right? But in that dream sequence of him buying the house, he puts The Rock in a river, and like The Rock sits at the bottom of the river. It doesn't come up, right? And that was like this. I wish I found this. I wish I figured this out. But this YouTuber, he was saying that's like showing that this is an illusion or a dream sequence, because we know The Rock is hollow, so it should have just lifted up, but it didn't this time.
Okay.
So I guess that was like a way of the director telling you this isn't real.
Well, yes, I got that interpretation when I saw that shot as well of him putting it in the river, but I knew it wasn't real because the last place that the stone was in the house when the guy threw it on his head, and there's no way they would give him the rock back. Like, there's no way he'd get it back. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is fake.
Yeah, I didn't. You realize I didn't make that connection.
Well, I only made that connection on my 3rd time watching, so I didn't make it the first time. So when you watched it the first time, did you not think it was a dream? Did you think it was real?
I thought it was real. I thought it was real for a second.
When I first watched it, I genuinely thought it was real, and It was another like Porco Rosso situation where like the third time I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how did I even think that? And it makes no sense, like with the themes of the movie. Like, of course he doesn't just randomly like make money out of nowhere and like save his dad, you know? Yeah. So I think it's really cool. I love that, the whole thing with the Scholar Stone. And that was the big thing that I understood on my third watch. The whole thing with the stone, and like, you know, he keeps saying like, oh wow, so metaphorical. And the entire movie is metaphorical. There are a lot of things where it's like telling you things that the movie is like telling you through like imagery and through these things that aren't exactly the same as like the message, but they convey the message. So like, you know, the top down, like you go down to class to the poor people and go up to the rich people. Like that in and of itself is a metaphor, right? And you could say that the Scholar Stone is a metaphor for their ambition to, when he gives them the Scholar Stone, he's like, this will bring you fortune. So he's like, ooh, this is like a metaphor. And then they do like get fortune through that. But then it's when they start failing, it starts to put into question like what even is fortune. Like, are they still getting it? Are they not getting it? Because then he grabs it again, and then they go back, and then they do their thing again, and then the dude dies, and then I guess he loses the stone, and then I guess he stays poor. So maybe it's a metaphor, right?
Good. Yeah.
It's I don't even fully understand it. Like, you know, it's weird.
Yeah.
And you could, I'm sorry, but like, I'm only just now making this connection. When the evil like guy grabs the Scholar Stone and he like throws it on the dude's head, and he grabs the Scholar Stone, and then he starts going up the stairs, and he starts rising out of his like poorness, and he starts like taking action, right? So, and that was while he had it in his hand. So yeah, you could make that connection of like, oh, because he was holding it, now it ties into the fact that he's taking action in his life to get out of like his poor nature and get fortune. And then when they both lose it, they both become poor again. So
dude, yeah. the movies, I was gonna say this first. I saw this post somewhere. They're saying the daughter that died, the poor daughter that died, right?
Yeah.
Again, I did not make this connection. I wish I did. I remember when the main character was up in the girl's room, the girl that he's tutoring, and it's like, do I fit in here, right? And he fucking doesn't, right? But you look at the sister, and she looks the part, especially what she's dressed with. And the mom even tells her to, yo, like, come outside, like, hold this cake, whatever, right? And, like, she definitely looks the part, right? Just not, like, how everything looks on her, right? And even before, when they was all in their house, like, getting drunk, the main character was like, you look, when I went upstairs and saw you in the bathtub, you look like you live here. Mm-hmm. You look, and then she was like, fuck off. He's like, nah, you look like you're used to this type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting, like, that this dude, he made the connection, like, that's why she died. I was thinking about it. I was really trying to wrap my head around it, but I forgot what he said. It made so much sense, though, but he made that connection around, like, how everyone else, like, did not, even the mom, like, the dude's wrestling with the mom on top of her, like, but she manages to, boom, like, you know, counter him, but the daughter dies. And it was super interesting when I was reading it.
Because I think what it means is like the daughter, in some, maybe he's saying that like the daughter blended into the rich people, that like she suffered the same, like, she was targeted in the same way that they were targeted, right? Like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's a very nuanced thing that requires a lot of thought. I don't know.
I'll have to go find it again, but
yeah.
Another thing is the movie got me mad a lot too. Mad in a good.
Okay.
Mad in a good, not in a poppy or
okay.
Pom Poko. Because, you know, when they're in their house getting drunk and shit, I already knew something fucked up was gonna happen. I knew like this is the second half of the movie. This is all the dumb fucked up shit starts happening.
Yeah.
And I'm just screaming at my phone or my laptop. I was like, "Don't open the door! Don't open the door! Don't open the door!" They open the door.
Yeah.
She goes downstairs, and I'm like, "What is she doing?" Right?
Yeah.
And then when she was like, she told the other housekeeper like, "Hey, you want to come with me?" I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I thought she was fucked. I thought she was just gonna start like killing him.
Mm-hmm.
And you find the guy down there, and it's funny because she was like, the old housewoman was like, "Come on, sis," and she was like, "Don't call me sis." And then like the second she got power,
the
poor
girl
mom
was like, she was like, "Sis," and she's like, "Don't call me sis, you fucking bitch." Like, I love the delivery of that line. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. And there's a whole bunch of times I was like, please, please, please. Like,
one of the most stressful moments on my first watch and even on my third watch is like when the boy goes down there to check if the guy is like okay, and then the guy like breaks out of his thing and you see that he's like free, and then he runs up the stairs and the guy grabs his thing and like pulls him back. I was like, oh my, like the way they filmed that, it's like they don't like it's filmed in a way where the impact, you're sold that this dude grabbed him and fucking yanked on that shit and like pulled him back, and it was very scary.
Yeah, that whole scene, and then he gets his head slammed by the rock, and you think that dude's fucking dead.
Yeah,
but that's another thing because the rock is hollow, but that's why he didn't get his head caved in, you know?
Yeah. I
he
never made that connection. Like the hollow thing is like, it's blowing my mind right now.
Hey, he gets his head caved in, and then like he hits him again. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that sound effect is so misleading. It's like the most gut wrenching like anime sound effect when he does it, and it's I didn't really like that.
I was like, dude, the main character just fucking died.
Yeah.
Now, like, I was like, everything's gone to shit now.
Yeah, it's over.
And then fucking, literally, he's walking outside. I'm like, fuck. And then I see the knives. I'm like, he's gonna grab the knife. And then he turns around, grabs the knife. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I called it. I was like, he's gonna grab it. And he did. I was fuck. He's running.
Yeah.
And I love how like he stands outside. He's standing there, bloody and with a knife in his hand, but no one notices him.
Yeah.
It's just like the class thing. Like
they're all caught up in their own shit, you know? What's more important? The birthday boy.
Yeah. And then he fucking
that
shit was fucked.
Yeah.
And goes to the mom. That shit was so crazy. Like it was all hell when he broke out, and then the dude just had to fucking.
I feel like I'm like angry at the mom character, but I also feel for her. Like when like that dude comes up and, you know, like all this shit happens to like her son, and like the entire movie she's like trying to like help him and stuff. It's like she's blissfully ignorant, you know? She's stupid in a way that like makes you mad at her, but she doesn't harm any of the other characters in a direct enough way for you to hate her. So when like this dude is running around and her son like has another fucking seizure after her whole attempt to like make his birthday party like not have this happen, and then like the ghost that he saw like being validated like in front of her, it's like that. I feel so bad for her, and in that moment, you know. So and I think that's intentional. I think you're supposed to feel bad for the rich people and the poor people, because, you know, the rich people are still human despite their prejudice, and their ignorance is a result of the situation that we're in as human beings. It's an understandable ignorance. You know? It's a shame. It really is. And it's portrayed well in this movie. You know, it's not a coincidence that you feel that way about like both parties. It's intentional, and he put a lot of thought into into that aspect of it.
Yeah, the movie's it's a good thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Like that second half is just like
Bonkers.
Anything goes, like free for all. Wow, those basement people. Honestly, if I was like those people, I'm letting them down. I'm sorry.
I
would throw food down there, but like, I'm not going down there, bro.
Oh yeah, of course.
He was clutching on the rock going down there. I knew he was fucked, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, honestly, you can just go fuck the rich daughter and be lit, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they can never make that connection to you, to be honest. But honestly, it is the right thing to do is to go like check on them and shit. But if they were dickheads and not checked on them, they would have been fine. It's the crazy thing. So
yeah.
Even if the rich family went down there and found it, it would be very crazy. But
I know.
if you deny, like, I don't think they can make that connection.
I think that the reason why they went down is because it was at least my interpretation of like that whole scene was like, it was very last minute. They were all very stressed out. And these people downstairs that know about them and are like probably going to do some fuck shit is causing them a lot of anxiety. So I think they went down there because it's like, let's try and see if we can fix this like as soon as we can. I don't think they went down there out of the good of their hearts. I think they were still being selfish and they were like, okay, like we have to talk to them because they're not dead and they might be fucking scheming some shit. So let's make sure that, you know,
yeah. And I like how the broke people were fighting for like the rich people's like
defense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when they're fighting for the phone and shit.
Oh, yeah. That scene was amazing. I love when they do a flashback and they're playing a music in the context of like, oh, I put a record on the turntable and this is playing in the flashback. And then they sit on the table and then the song becomes the soundtrack over the film, not just a song playing in the scene. And the characters in the flashback look like to the camera and then it cuts to their perspective, cutting back to the present of the people running at them into the chair, and then the song continues playing as the phone like that shit is like, that is godlike, Manny. That's like, that shit's amazing.
That was good.
Yeah. I love that song too. I listen to that shit all the time.
I also liked when, because the old housekeeper was saying some facts. She was like, when she lived there, she was saying like she wasn't scamming people, and like when they left,
right,
she wasn't like drinking, getting drunk on their living room. She was just like living there with her husband, right, and shit. Yeah. And everything she was saying was straight facts. Mm-hmm. Like the main characters was just like taking a huge advantage of this incredible opportunity, you know, mm-hmm. when she was like, and she meant the most of it.
Yeah, and she was like,
it makes you feel bad for her.
Yeah, and you should feel bad, you know, you should feel bad for everybody. Like everybody's kind of a dick, but like not really. And those are the best kinds of stories where everyone's right and everyone's wrong. And this is one of those movies. You know, I feel so bad for her because I love that exchange. Like when she's explaining it, like, you know, you believe her, you don't like, she's very clearly like not lying or pretending. I don't remember what she said or like what the mom said, but one of her responses, the delivery was like so genuine. I don't remember, but yeah, great exchange.
Yeah. That was nice. I remember she was like, when they left, me and my husband used to come up here and dance in the sunbeams, but you guys are just here getting drunk.
Yeah. I think I remember it. It was like oh, come on, sis, like, you understand. Like, she immediately knew that they were like finessing, kind of. She was like, well, actually, no, she didn't know that they were finessing, but she was like, oh, you understand the struggle. You're a housekeeper too. Like, why don't you cut me some slack and let me help my husband? And she's her character that she's playing, her act is like, I'm not poor. I'm part of like this elite like membership service thing. And then her delivery is like, but we're poor. Like understand like the situation. I love when like her delivery of that line. It's so genuine, and it's like, it's so like, it shows that like she's trying to get this person to understand like I can't do anything about this. Like I have to do it this way. Like, please, bro. I know that you're rich and like you can't relate, but please like understand. But she does understand it. She just lied to her. To her that she was rich. So that is like her stutter is something that she didn't have to do if the person was being genuine and honest. It was just great. I love that part. So good.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good shit.
Yeah.
And the movie doesn't get boring.
It doesn't. Do you want to know why this won the Oscar?
Even the first parts are good. Oh God.
The reason why I won the Oscar is because everyone likes it. Normies like it. Smarty, like, normals, tryhards. Exactly. And the year before, I don't think it was the year before. I think it was maybe 2 years before Parasite, or maybe it was the year before Parasite. There was another foreign film called Roma, and that was like very clearly the best movie, but it's not. It's only a movie for tryhards. It's not a movie for like normal people, and a lot of people did find it boring, and then it lost, and then everyone was like, "What the fuck? How could that movie lose?" So it goes to show the Oscars biases, yeah. And like people's that I think a big reason why this movie is popular is because it is very appealing, like to normal people. Like a lot of normal people will have fun with it.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, but it's very good in that sense.
For sure. It's.
A lot of people will like say they won't watch a movie just because it has subtitles. And this is one of those movies that people will watch despite having subtitles. Mm-hmm. And they'll still have fun,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy I watched this movie.
I'm happy you watched it too. I'm happy we got to talk about it.
And I need like a rewatch to bring up all its points,
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
I wasn't expecting you to know everything, and I don't even know everything, so it's okay. Don't feel bad about that. There's a lot to unpack.
I also found out that the ending song to the credit roll or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd seen somewhere that it's the main character singing. And it's one of the lyrics he says is he got a labor job, and that it would take like 500 years for him to like actually like buy the house.
Wow.
Yeah. But then he at the end of the song he's like, I'm gonna keep trying though.
Yeah.
That's cool because no English motherfucker's gonna get that.
Exactly. I love that song. The soundtrack is amazing. I think the soundtrack to this movie is like, I don't know if you took notice to it, but it was like one of the best soundtracks I've heard for any movie in a really long time. The score, I realized that like the main theme of this movie is like the belt of faith. That's like what it's called. And the mom character in the movie, she's like, I only like to hire people, that I get recommended, this belt of faith. And then when she says that, belt of faith starts playing in the soundtrack. And during that is a montage sequence of the people that she's putting her faith in, the belt of faith, deceiving her, like in an attempt to like get the other housekeeper out. And that's so that entire scene, that sequence, Manny, is so good. It's amazing. It's like a 10 out of 10 scene where they get the peaches. Because it's funny, too. It's a funny movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's overall, all in all, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, very happy I watched this show.
I'm glad. I hope that if there's any other movies that you want to watch, just let me know, Manny, because I love movies, like, and I love to talk about them whenever I get the opportunity to.
I guess the next movie I really want to see is like Inception.
I haven't seen Inception ever since it came out, so I would love to rewatch that. That would be a great discussion. That's another movie like this where it's like you gotta watch, like, watching it more than once might be beneficial. So that would be cool.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the next movie on my radar.
Nice.
But yeah,
they built both of the houses for the movie.
Really?
Yeah, he said he needed control of the scene, so like he thought about like where the rooms were, and it was like very important for like the shots that he had to do. And I thought that was very thoughtful and really cool.
The main character, man, he was set.
Yeah.
You could have smashed that girl and called it a day.
Could he have?
Why not?
Because I mean, they're gonna. How long will the facade play out? The dude is gonna come back from college, and he is poor, and like those are his family. Like what? I think one of the messages of the film is no matter what these characters do, they will always like be in this position. Like, sure, there's this situation that has happened where they lost a lot, and they like one of them even died, and one of them's like trapped in the basement. So, but I think that if things didn't go poorly, it wouldn't necessarily go well. I don't think that anybody would have been quote unquote set, like even if it was like the best case scenario. I think that's the message of the movie. It's like there's nothing that these guys can do. This guy can't work to get to this point. He can't finesse and like fuck the daughter, because when he does that, like they're gonna have to know his real name. They're gonna have to find out who he is, and and that's why he's asking, like, do I fit in? Like, can I even, hey man, maybe on a rewatch,
We should have smashed.
He probably did. He probably did smash him.
We need it on camera.
Yeah. It was bro, the scene, I'm sorry, but the scene where like he first starts studying with her is fucking awesome, where he's like, don't skip questions, like it's like a jungle, you gotta slice through the questions, and if you hesitate, then I don't remember what he said, but it was awesome. And then he like felt her pulse, and she was like and the mom was like like that was so like good. That was so good, man. And then like when he like starts getting feelings for her, she feels his pulse, and then she's like, the heart doesn't lie. Like it's so good. That was such a good scene.
I think after watching this movie and Squid Game, I think I'm into Koreans.
The guy who did the soundtrack for this movie is the same guy who did the soundtrack for Squid Game. Yeah. Korean movies are good. This guy has done other movies that are good. Like the same director.
The main character's sister. Oh my god.
Yeah, she was attractive. Yeah, people were talking about the girl from Squid Game. I'm like, bro, did we forget Parasite? I don't know. Maybe I just have different taste. Yeah, I think she's very attractive. I love that her death scene, like when they go to her like funeral. I love how she's like a urn, like I mean, is that what you call it? I don't know. The thing that you get cremated in, she's like in like a little pot, and it's on like a shelf in a place that's getting like vacuumed as they're like mourning her like ashes. It's like, it's so, it makes me like tear up, like sitting here thinking about that scene. That's so sad, and that shot is like so depressing.
It is very sad.
Yeah.
Because they don't have enough for like a proper funeral.
Yeah. And
I wish.
Go ahead.
The movie doesn't need it, but I wish, like, when they go to court, you see like the rich family's like reaction
of them in court.
No, not of them in court, but like I wish it was like, say on the Blu-ray, there was like an extra scene where like the rich family reacts to them getting like scammed, and like everything they finding out everything. That like I'm saying that doesn't need to be in the movie. I just wish like.
Right.
I
kind of interpreted that as like, we have gone through so much, we don't even give a fuck. Like the fact that they moved out of the house. Well, did they ever confirm that they moved out of the house? They did.
They did.
Yeah. So the fact that they moved out of the house and the fact that they weren't explicitly shown at like the court scene showed me that like they just tried to move on from that.
Regardless, I'm saying like the rich daughter that she liked the main character. I wish I saw her reaction.
That would have been interesting to see.
Because what she was like, I don't care.
Yeah, maybe. There are some things that I noticed on this watch that made me kind of dislike the movie a little bit, a teensy bit. The movie is so meticulous and so thoughtful in so many ways, and there were just very tiny ride your waves in this movie, and it kind of took away from me. And I know that it's being nitpicky, but like, this is a movie that wants you to watch it like multiple times. So if I watch it multiple times and I notice things that are bad, then it kind of invalidates the things that you put thought into when you don't put equal amount of thought into like everything. You know what I mean? So there's one scene, like in the ending scene where the guy like goes into the garage. The reason why he went into the garage was because of the camera that the housekeeper cut earlier in the movie. And then in the like the TV broadcaster, like the police checked the cameras and they didn't see anybody walk away from the thing. We know that he went down these stairs, but we don't know like what direction he went in, because he went in the garage and the camera next to the garage was fucked up. But if you check the cameras, wouldn't you check that camera and wouldn't you see that it was cut and it was broken and that maybe he went into the garage? And it's just like, on the first viewing, it's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. On the third viewing, it's still not the end of the world, but it does kind of, it feels like a silly thing to have in this script that is so ironclad in so many spots, you know? You know, there's a little bit of scratch in the paint there, you know? It's a bummer, because it was shiny and pristine for a little while. That's like one thing. I think I noticed other things, but also like the movie insinuates like, oh, and I know it's a dream sequence, so maybe you could argue that like this is part of the dream sequence being stupid and like unrealistic, but he's writing a message to his dad in the dream sequence in Morse code. Like he's writing Morse code to his dad. Like I'm like, and he's like narrating that scene like, oh, this is the message I'm giving to my dad. Like, Dad, I'm gonna get rich. I'm gonna da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, how are you gonna send that to him? He can talk to you through the lights, but like, how are you gonna talk to him?
Did he wrote it in Morse code? Or did he write what he was saying in Morse code?
Both. He wrote what the dad was saying, and then he continued to write on a new page. The way the scene was conveyed made it seem like he was writing his own message that he was narrating. He wrote on a new page the message that he was going to send to the dad. But how would he send that? And maybe because it's a dream, you're supposed to be like, oh, it doesn't make sense because it's a dream, and that's part of like the realization to the audience, like, oh, none of this makes sense. But like in the context of a dream, like it's still fucking stupid. So, like the Scholar Stone makes sense because it connects to the character, and even though he doesn't have it, it's like related to his emotions. But like that just logically doesn't make any sense, and it's kind of a ride your wave, and it like kind of kind of messes up the scene for me a little bit. But yeah, those were two things. And I know it seems minor, but like when the rest of the movie is about being like super specific and like, oh, look at this tiny thing and look at how this connects to this, it feels like really silly, like a really silly mistake, since everything is so like thoughtful, you know? And I mean, that's all I noticed. I didn't notice anything else like too bad. Also another thing that like I cannot stand while watching this movie is all the driving scenes when the dude is like, I know this seems minor, but when the dad character keeps looking behind him to like talk to the guy, and knowing that he gets reprimanded later on in the movie, it's even worse. But even if that didn't happen, no one would look behind them that much when you're driving, especially when you're trying to pretend like you're a godlike driver and you're so good. Like no one would look back that much. And as someone who drives all the time, like I'm a delivery driver, like I deliver pizza and shit, I would never do that, you know? So like it breaks the immersion for me when I see him do it, because it shows me that the actor is not really driving a car. They're in like a prop car, and the outside is like really good green screen. And it also is really telling, and it makes me think about the camera and like, how is the camera so still in this shot? Oh, that's right. They're not actually on a road. It's stationary, and they're in like a car, and the rest is like visual effects. And it really like breaks all those scenes for me. And it's kind of annoying watching all those scenes like after the fact, but that's just me. Yeah, it's annoying on the third viewing. You know, but the movie wants to be watched multiple times, so like it's bad. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But like I appreciated everything you had to say about it. The main thing that I took away on this viewing was the Scholar Stone. I never put that much thought into it before, but like it really resonated with me this time. It really seemed to like tie the entire movie together. I love what the dad says, like when they're in the homeless shelter, and he's like, "Yo, Dad, what's your plan?" And the dad was like, "The best plan is like no plan, so you don't get disappointed or something." I love that. I connected with the dad so much. I literally like go through that on a daily basis because, you know, I'm struggling. I'm trying to make bread, and people yell at me all the time at work. Yeah, I love this movie. It means a lot to me. It's not just like a fun movie. Oh, I wanted to say that there are some goofy ass moments in this movie, like the dream sequence with the rich kid, where it's like, oh, he's eating the cake and then he sees a ghost, but the ghost is like the dude that he saw like coming out. That feels I'm just watching Jojo, and it feels like some shit straight out of Jojo. Like I feel you could put like the Jojo like signs and like the sound effect on it, and it would be right at home. I'm realizing that Jojo is like has a lot of like horror elements, like intentionally, like it is trying to be a scary thing at times, and I feel like that exact scene has been in Jojo in some facet. Like, so I just thought that was really cool. And it's one of the things that, not to tie it to Jojo, but like, it's what makes Jojo so appealing. It's so over the top and crazy, but you're sold on it. And it's like, this is one of those things where it's like over the top and goofy and kind of weird. And it like, it doesn't feel right for this movie, but it does. And it like, it works somehow. And, you know, it's silly, but like you're sold. So yeah, I loved it. I'm going to peruse my notes a little bit, but I don't know if there's anything else I got. I love the scene where like he's conspiring with the rich like woman to like fire the housekeeper, and then like he goes to shake her hand, but she's like, she wasn't even thinking about, like, I love the scene where he like tries to shake her hand, but she wasn't even thinking about shaking his hand. And then when she does go to shake his hand, it's like reluctantly because like he engaged in the handshake. And I thought that was really cool about like the dichotomy between like the rich people and the poor people.
And she was like, did you wash your hand?
Yeah, right. And he looked up. I thought that shit was hilarious. After all that about like, oh, you know, I'm doing this for sanitation. The movie was funny as fuck, you know? Yeah. I loved it. I love this movie. I'm glad you watched it. Ratings?
Yeah. I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8. I agree. I'm also going to give it an 8. I gave it a 9 at first, but I'm bumping it down to an 8 after the things I noticed on this viewing. I still love it, but it's an 8 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
and now I'm interested in Tenet and Inception.
Yeah. Maybe those can be after the Ghibli joints, or if you would like to do it like next episode, like I don't really care. Whenever you want. I would gladly rewatch both of those movies. I enjoyed Tenet a lot, and I want to watch Tenet again.
I'll say we push for Earthsea and Earwig.
Yeah.
Earthsea.
By
Earthsea.
Earthsea. Earthsea. I might just keep calling it that out of disrespect. Yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna finish part 4, but maybe that can be like the third section of that whenever I finish it. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and then Friday and Saturday I have work, so I don't know if I'm gonna finish it by Saturday. And if I really power through, because part 4 is shorter than I thought, so definitely, hopefully, Tuesday at the latest is when I will have it done. So maybe, I don't know. Talk to me about your schedule right now. Like, how's your schedule looking?
It's gonna go back to normal. It's because the whole Thanksgiving thing just shifted up the schedules. But next week I'm going back to work in the normal schedule. So.
Okay. So Tuesday, could you do like a Monday or a Tuesday? You know. Yeah. So is it okay if I just call you, or I tell you like I finished JoJo, now we can talk? Like after you watch Earthsea and Earwig, or would you rather just call as soon as you finish Earthsea and Earwig?
I say if we're both done with the movies, we can call.
Okay. Alrighty. It'll be the shortest call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way. Alrighty.
It will be a short call.
Oh, I just got my Blu-ray for Sword of the Stranger, so we can watch that whenever you want.
Oh, nice. Sword of the Stranger.
Mm-hmm.
The first non-Ghibli since Ride Your Wave.
Yeah, the first non-Ghibli anime movie. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is.
Oh, Ride Your Wave and Weathering. We did those on the same day, I believe.
Yeah.
And
whatchamacallit? What was I gonna say? Yeah, you said Sword of the Stranger is one you want to watch. Are there any other ones like in the back of your mind that you want? I have a lot of ideas for like movies that we can watch. Have you seen the Trigun movie?
No.
I would love to watch that.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like to watch. There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. I guess that's the good thing.
Mm-hmm. This will go on forever. And ever.
We're gonna finish every single movie
ever made. Yeah.
Did we talk about Mugen Train?
That was the first thing we talked about.
Castlevania wasn't it?
We talked about Mugen Train before Castlevania. I talked about Mugen Train before I made my video with you. I remember that. I remember you telling me. I knew that we were on the same level when I asked you, like, what did you think? And you said, it was kind of boring. And I will never forget those words going out of your mouth, because I was like, I found him. I found someone that I could talk about movies with. Because that's when I was like, yeah. Because I went to the movies with like Ema and Kevin and Lewis, and everyone was like, dude, that was awesome. And I was like, so yeah. And then I remember I explained to you like why the movie was boring, and then you were like, yeah, that shit was boring. I remember that,
dude. The movie, it's not that good, to be honest.
Compared, I'm really excited to watch. I'm gonna watch the 7-episode anime and see how it compares to the movie, because it's gonna. Do you know about that? Like Demon Slayer, like yeah. It
was like Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
It reanimated.
Yeah, but it feels like it should have been in the anime form and not the movie form. It feels like it would work better in anime format than movie format.
It does, and but the movie is so successful, so I'm happy for him.
I'm happy that even though the movie was like mid, I'm happy that like it made people watch Demon Slayer, and it like makes people go out to theaters and have fun. Like that in and of itself is cool, you know. And like seeing the whole thing with Rengoku in theaters, despite not loving the movie, I thought that was very fun. I love like that's the standard now for like anime movie endings. I feel like ever since Endgame, everybody's just trying to chase that high of like the crazy batshit ending that you weren't expecting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's one of them.
Let's see.
Both the My Hero movies, the first two, are better than that Demon Slayer movie, in my opinion.
I didn't watch the first one.
The first one's the best one. They actually feel like movies. That Demon Slayer movie feels like an episode of the anime, and not in a good way.
Yeah. It was so boring.
Yeah.
And like
half of it was a flashback.
I tell everyone I tell always agrees with me. I was like, that was their chance to give everyone else a little backstory when they were in the dream sequence, but they kept the same running joke over. Yeah. We still don't know anything about Inosuke or Electric Guy.
They have backstories. They're Electric Guy got a whole backstory about his like grandpa teaching him about the thing. I know that's not a lot, but that's all I really need.
No.
I understand. No.
We need
I don't know. I wasn't fishing for a backstory during that scene. It would have been cool, but something. It needed to be a action-packed scene. You know when you're watching.
The thing is, regardless of the dreams, because like you have the main character going through his tragic past, his little backstory, and you jump to his story. It's just like him chasing after the girl, and those cases fucking off. It's like I don't know. It felt so weird to me. Like the movie got so serious. We're going to the part where fucking Chandro's family fucking dies.
Right.
And here comes Inosuke.
I know, and it feels like. Yeah, I think that.
And Chandro's shit was so sad. Like, it was so sad.
Mm-hmm.
It was like him seeing his family, and then him like not wanting to go, and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like juxtaposed to. What's the little girl's name?
Nezuko?
Yeah, let's go. I thought it was like, I thought it was ass, and now it's really dog shit. Now I really think about it.
My issue is not that is, yeah, that is bad. My issue is just how much time they spend on it, though. I wouldn't care so much if it wasn't half of the movie. If it was like one 10-minute, 5-minute scene, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it's like the whole movie. They it really is sad because they focus on it being sad. And it's like, dude, I get it. I watched the show.
I'm just tired. I just don't like when anime do this shit. Like the same reoccurring joke. It's so
Sometimes
dumb.
it works. You got to use it correctly. I don't have an issue with anime doing it. They just don't. They use it inappropriately. Like they think you'll laugh so fucking hard, so they make it like the center stage of like the movie for like 5 minutes. Like, look, he's doing his thing. He's doing his joke, and it's like, you're supposed to do it passively in the background. So it's like this one little thing,
I have a big problem with anime doing shit like that. It's like Jojo isn't funny because they do the reoccurring things.
Really?
To me,
like,
it's like Porco. Like the only thing that reoccurred was you're a pig, but the context was different in every joke.
Yeah.
But in anime, it's like I tripped and fell and grabbed their tits and laughed.
Yeah.
And that's for like mid-ass anime. Some high tier anime do the same thing, but in a different way. And I'm not a fan. I would have to look at my list to like remember shows to do it, but I can't think of it. Fucking, it's just like My Hero, that one, the glue guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we get it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't, to me, it wasn't funny, and it will never be funny. So it's very annoying for me.
Right.
If you find it funny, I guess it's great for you. But
it does get repetitive, and for me, like, it's not that I don't inherently find that funny. I do think it's funny, but like, I'm not gonna find it funny if you like spam it, and they don't spam it in My Hero. Like, Mineta's barely in the show, and when he is in the show, I feel like, actually no, in the show he kind of does it a lot, but
whenever he pops up, it's like something about it.
Yeah,
he's barely in the show, but when he is, it's
actually
something.
I take that back. They do spam it whenever he is on screen, and the context isn't different. In the context, the last My Hero related thing I consumed was the movie, and in the movie, it's like the movie goes on so long without Mineta doing it, and Mineta's like one of the main characters, so that when it does happen, it's like, oh, he did the thing, and it's been like an hour. Haha, I remember that. So it depends on how you use it. If you use it sparingly, it's fine. I feel like Dragon Ball does that, and I feel like it's
to me, the whole thing about Goku being stupid, though, like, that's what you're talking about, right?
I feel like Vegeta being like a dick, like, it's very reoccurring. It happens all the time.
I mean, but Bakugo does the same thing.
Maybe that's too broad.
In their character. I don't think that's even funny. That's
right. It's not like one joke. What's like one joke?
If Vegeta's not doing that, then it's like,
what,
like that. Yeah, that is, you know what I mean?
Right. That's his character. Right.
And it makes it even better when, like, the thing with Dragon Ball is like Vegeta's like that, but in scenes where he like when they're like supposed to transform, and he's like, I'm not doing that shit. Right. He's like pouting. He's like, that's the funny part.
Right. They're taking his character and they're making a joke out of the context of who he is. That's why I love the Frieza joke so much, because it's so Frieza, but it's like something that you've never heard before. It's like, yeah, you're right. And I prefer that. I prefer when they do that. I don't hate the anime thing, but it is worse, and I agree. I think JoJo is pretty funny, though, because I don't think JoJo does the reoccurring joke too much. Do you feel it? Okay.
JoJo's very funny, and they don't do the reoccurring thing.
Yeah. Okay, I thought you said they did.
It's not like Joseph in part 3 is not like, oh, no. Like, he does it, like, a few times. He does it like handful of times.
Okay, I must have misheard you the first time because I thought you said you don't find JoJo funny because they do that. Okay, because when you said that, I immediately thought of Joseph, and he go, "Oh my god!" Like whenever he says it, it's a fucking.
It is funny, but it's like episodes apart.
Yes, they use it sparingly. They use it like once every 5 episodes. Saying,
look, he's doing the thing. You know?
Yeah, he's doing the thing. Yeah.
It's even good. It's even better in with Vegeta's thing because we seen him like try not to do like pout fusion, right. Mm-hmm. And then we seen that years ago, and now they brought it back to Broly.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's awesome.
And like Trigun's funny, but I don't think he reoccurs anything. Trigun Vash is naturally funny.
Yeah.
Fucking Porco is hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the type of comedy is the type of like Broly comedy. Like that's how you do it. You're right. That was good. That was a good little tangent. Yeah. Comedy in anime is bad. It's pretty egregious in One Piece. Like I know you want to watch One Piece, but I'll be surprised if you can get through it, to be honest. In anime form at least.
Yeah.
You got to have a tolerance for that.
That's going to be something.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can just find some more examples.
Take your time.
Castlevania has a lot of they have a lot of snarky comments.
Yeah, Castlevania is like
that makes it funny.
Technically not an anime. Like it is an anime, but it's written by like people who write TV shows and not manga. So like Castlevania is like a tier above most things in terms of its writing. At least in terms of anime. It's not like shonen writing. So yes, Castlevania is pretty funny.
Space Dandy's funny.
Oh yeah, Space Dandy's like so much more thought. Space Dandy is if you're going to be a comedy focused anime, you can't do like pervy like Sanji, Mineta like kind of jokes.
And the thing is, Dandy, he is a perv, but it's only when they're in the titties restaurant. Mm-hmm. When they're outside of that, the episode is doing its thing. And the stories, it's not like it's a comedy first. Like those stories, I need to rewatch Space Dandy. When I think of Space Dandy, I think it as one of the best shows I've watched.
Me too.
But on my list, it's like I gave it an 8.6. I think if I rewatched it, it would be like in the top 15. It would be like
it's not already in your top 50?
Top 15.
Okay.
I think it would be up there. When I think of Space Dandy, I think of like pure greatness.
when I was in high school, I considered it in my top 10, but I don't know. My opinions on my top 10 in high school don't really hold that much weight now.
Right.
So, like, I want to rewatch Dandy, and you're talking about like the joke where Dandy's a perv, and one of the best jokes in the entire series is like in the final scene where he's like gonna die because he's like going in the ship and like flying into the, I don't remember what was going on, but he was like flying towards something and he's in the Aloha, I think. And then he's like about to die or he's like about to give up. And then he sees the camera and it shows all of his friends. And it's like, oh my God, the memory of his friends is going to like motivate him to beat this. And then he sees Honey, what's the character? The female character. He sees her panties and he's like, oh! It's like that. That was great. That was so fucking good. That's a good way of doing that because they never did that before. So it's like it's subversive and it's like the final scene. It's like, Dandy's great, man. And Dandy's one of those shows where like it's made by a different director like each episode. So like one of them was directed by Masaki Yuasa, like some of them were by Shinichiro Watanabe, some were by Mamoru Hosoda. So it's like you're getting a little flavor of like all these classic like creators. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I bring it back to Trigun because Trigun is like perfect where it's like it's trying not to. be funny in the wrong times or like the wrong spots.
Yeah.
Trigun, especially in the second half, the show gets really deep. It doesn't like these deep moments. This doesn't get interrupted by like foolishness. Trigun's really good with that, and Samurai Champloo, especially later on in Samurai Champloo. Samurai Champloo is funny. Surprised I didn't bring that up, but especially later on, like
they tone it down.
They tone it down because the shit gets serious.
Yeah,
and a lot of shows just can't do that.
It's so easy. I don't know. It's like how the fuck just stop telling jokes, goddammit. Like just shut up and tell your fucking story. Like how the fuck do you manage to do that? How do you how you just can't hold back like we should say a joke right now. Like no, shut up. Like it's so annoying. Yeah, Trigun's good with that though.
Yeah. Especially like whenever you see knives, like you just know like the show's not gonna like try and be funny with knives. And I need to rewatch Trigun.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch Space Dandy.
I need to rewatch Space Dandy, Trigun, and Samurai Champloo, man. I don't remember like those shows at all. Bebop was such a such an experience, bro. Because like I did not understand. I was a fucking idiot in high school. I did not understand that series for what its greatness was, and it truly I don't give it a 10 just because you give it a 10. Like I really do think that's like one of the best shows ever made. Do you remember those like in between like commercials or whatever? There's like this like title card or whatever you call it, where it's like, you know, the anime. I don't remember what it said, but like the thing that would create a new genre was called. Like that's such a flex, bro. Like
the thing that a new genre is Cowboy Bebop. That is so cool.
That's such a like one thing I love about Bebop is that it knows it's the shit. It knows it's better than half these shows on the block, and it's willing to flex those muscles. Bebop is a masterpiece.
It is. Yeah, I need to rewatch.
Which makes the live action so much more. Have you like touched it at all? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You can check it out and you can tell me what you think.
Yeah. Yeah. This concludes the episode because I want to go to sleep earlier.
Yeah,
because usually we stay up to like 3, 4, 5.
I know.
And I'm so down to do that, depending on how much shit we watch and how good things are. But today I gotta wake up early.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but
gotta bounce.
Man, I can't wait till I watch the next Marnie.
Well, before we go, real quick, can we check the Studio Ghibli like catalog again?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay.
We got Earwig, Kiki's, Ponyo, Earthsea, Princess Kaguya, Castle in the Sky for Me, The Wind Rises, which you're holding off, Only Yesterday, Yamada's, and Fireflies.
That's it?
Yeah. That's crazy. I remember when we first started, dude.
Yeah.
I was telling myself, I'm going to watch all these movies. Yeah.
Wow, that's it. Oh, you forgot Kaguya. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just said Princess. Princess Kaguya. And I like how after we get through the Goros, I'm like excited for all these movies.
Yeah. I have positive memories of all the ones that I have seen that we haven't watched yet. And
bro. Oh, I'm excited.
Like
Only Yesterday, I'm super excited.
Bro, after watching Pom Poko, like I'm excited for his movies. I'm excited for Takahata movies. He's so different than Miyazaki. He's nothing like him. He doesn't even try to copy him, you know? I feel like Goro is trying to copy Miyazaki sometimes. Takahata is such a weirdo. All of his movies have such weird art styles, except for Only Yesterday, but and I guess Grave of the Fireflies, but like I don't know. Pom Poko's got raccoons and shit that change their art style when they get hit. Yamada's is like watercolor, and Kaguya is like pencil.
Yeah. I'm really excited for Princess Kaguya.
You should be.
Castle in the Sky. You said it's your favorite, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
The Wind Rises. Excited.
I'm excited for that too.
I'm excited for Kiki's. I can't wait to be able to say I've watched all Ghibli.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll tell you which ones are ass.
Yeah. Yeah. From Up on Poppy Hill is the worst one.
Honestly, I'll just tell people.
I can't wait for the tier list when we finish all of them.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
You think Kiki's is better than the cafeteria?
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Me too.
Get through the Goros, then it's.
I need to rewatch.
I want our last episode to be The Wind Rises, Grave of Fireflies.
Yeah, me too.
And I guess it can be Castle in the Sky.
Yeah.
That's going to be the big three.
The big three. Castle in the Sky, Wind Rises, and... Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so good.
That's going to be a good episode.
It's going to be so
I'm going to take
episode.
extensive notes.
Yeah.
One movie's going to take a 5-hour talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope it does. Yeah, that's going to be so fun. I'm so excited. Thank you for doing this with me. These are I look forward to these every single time we do them.
Trust me, I do too. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is great. All right, we got normal life to attend to, so I guess we'll depart.
Hopefully, Tales of Earthsea will put me in a good like fantasy realm. I can bring myself into, you know.
Yeah. Let's hope
We'll
so.
see.
Let's hope so. All right, Manny. I'm gonna go. Thank you.
All right, bro. Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. I am very thankful for your existence. Thank you for being my friend.
All right, bro.
All right. See ya.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, see you later, bro.